So thank you, Roxanne. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have a small crew, but the cool thing is we are recording this and then we'll be putting it on the website as well so people can watch it at any time. So I'll let you do your part here, if you would, and just kind of give us the synopsis of what's going to happen when when they show up at this at the meeting on Saturday, and what challenges that they might be facing.
Okay, well, I can tell you from year to year they change things up a little bit, but typically in the years past, they'll have at least an hour meeting. They'll go through rules, rule changes, any other changes that SA has made with the league season. Um,
Okay.
and then what will happen is actually when you walk in, you're going to get your packet. And after they're done, typically what's happened in the past is everyone breaks out in your gender and age group and then your level of play. And at that time is when people kind of swarm together to change games, your game schedule. So when you get your game schedule that day, your game schedule set for the year, the fields are set, and it's great to have a list from all your families ahead of time that so you kind of know if you have to change a game or not. The big thing is going to be in the younger age groups, choir concerts, band concerts, that type of thing. Any end of year school parties for the elementary school kids. So you'll want to go with all those dates in mind. A lot of switching sometimes takes place during this meeting, and eventually what happens if you're not lucky enough to get your pick of choice to change your game, sometimes you're changing 2 or 3 games to get one game changed. So it kind of ends up being a big circle sometimes. So the best thing you can do is go with all the dates right away. A lot of parents' families are off the week of 4th of July. So typically I've found that it's best to not schedule games that week, and you will have games scheduled that week. So those are the ones that you'll probably want to try to get done earlier. And the other thing is the end of play, I believe, we just looked it up, Joe. What was it? July 10th?
July
Something.
10th.
16th, or I can't remember. I was
I think
thinking
it's
about that
It's
last
July
night.
10th.
I think it's the week of the 10th, yeah. So, you really don't want to wait and have the bulk of your games towards the end of your season. If you do that, you're going to end up maybe not having enough players to hardly field a game because people are on vacation right in July before playoffs start. So those are the things that I can tell you. You will get a coach list that day. Typically, it's not real complete with the team managers' names on, so if you can get any of that information at the meeting and write that down, phone numbers, team managers, you'll want to do that. Let's see, what else? I have my book out here just to kind of go through things.
Roxanne has a binder for every situation.
I
I
pretty
think
much do.
we should make
She
PDFs
does.
of it. So that would be awesome. A great resource for all the managers.
Well, I talked about that last year with John Jacobson, having a binder for, already pre-made for team managers and things that you need to do throughout the year. Because, of course, the big things are now is the player passes, right? I've already got them for a couple of teams. And to get that done and your pictures taken and all that is a big thing. The other thing is to get your match reports made. And as soon as you get your passes, because you'll need your registration numbers from your passes for those. And then, of course, there are the uniforms. So what I've learned over the years is you might want to have a practice where the coach has all the players bring their uniforms. Because you're going to, if you wait till your first game, there's going to be somebody that can't find their uniform in their closet from last year, right?
Great idea.
That's a really good tip. That's insightful. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something I've done. And then, I don't know how many of you have rescheduled games before. Dion, have you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay. So you know that sometimes it can be quite an ordeal to get a field and time that you want and that the other team will commit to. So, and I have found over the years too that teams will entertain the idea of playing Friday night or Saturday night or not Saturday night, Saturday morning or Sunday night games. So you can always keep that in mind too, because the Egan fields do fill up quite quickly, and it's hard to get games on different nights sometimes. Um, I'm just looking what else. There's a lot of things I don't need to tell you guys to do, but Joe, you might want to just get your liability forms done now. If you're playing any out-of-state tournaments, go ahead and get them notarized. If you're not playing any out-of-state tournaments, you do not need them notarized unless you're playing State Cup. And let's see, what else can I tell you? I think that's all I really need to go through. You guys have.
Well, thank you very much, Roxanne. I appreciate your time here, and hopefully this will be this is going to be, like I said, put on the website, so we'll be able to pass that information along to anybody that can sit through me and Dion rambling about this stuff for as long as we are. So, but it is good info, I mean, it's stuff that will help people not to make mistakes and have to learn it the way a lot of people have had to. So,
yeah.
Thanks again,
Yeah, it is a
Roxanne. I
little
appreciate it.
stressful.
No problem.
Roxanne, before you leave, there is a little bit different rescheduling process for this year, just for the Egan Wave team.
Okay.
So on Saturday, April 13th, Rich Seagar, he's the new field director. He will be available by phone, and you can call or text with your game requests. You just need to send off the number, the date, the time, your team code, and then your new date and time that you're proposing. And he's going to try to crank out as many reschedules as possible on Saturday.
Okay.
And then the rest of the season, Joe is going to help us create a Google Doc. I'm going too far ahead, sorry. And we're going to do it all online this year. We're not going to use, we're going to try to avoid using as many emails as possible. We want to make sure that we don't miss any games. And there we go. And so we're going to just do it all online. We're going to submit them through an online Google Doc, and that way everybody can just view the whole request and watch the process go through that as everybody's approving it, the referee, director, and then when it's finally ready for you to take back and go on to the NYSA website and log it in.
Oh, great.
So hopefully that will make it very consolidated and efficient.
Yeah, that's a nice addition. So on Saturday, Rich will be available by phone. Is his phone number out there somewhere?
It's on the bottom of one of these.
We'll definitely send.
There's going to be an email that goes out, but yeah, it is
Okay.
on the bottom of one of these screens, these slides, right, Dion?
Yeah, it's the one just before, right?
Okay.
But we're going to send it all out to everybody just so everybody is aware of how to reschedule on Saturday and then throughout the rest of the season.
I'll text you his info, Roxanne.
Okay.
Here it is. There's his phone number.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right. And one other thing, I know you guys have done this before, but all team managers should put Rich's phone number in their phone, simply because when you go to a field and something doesn't look right, like that's not your field or you don't have your ref. So actually, it's nice to have
as well.
Yeah, Rich's number and his number as well, the head referee.
Sausage, right. Both of those, or AJ's also. Those three guys probably will be very valuable phone numbers to have this summer, just to help with, whatever happens out on the field.
Yeah, because you just never know. I mean, I've shown up to games where nobody's there. It's like, wait a minute, this is our field. What's going on? So it's just nice for the team managers to have those phone numbers. And, the other thing that I found helpful, too, is to carry around when you get the coach and team manager list. I just keep that in my binder so when I go to games, if, a team doesn't show up or, something, you can have their contact information. You can always put it in your phone too, but it's nice to have it.
Awesome. All right. We should probably keep rolling here. Dion, right. Thank you, Roxanne.
You're welcome.
And
yes, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Point. And here we are. Can we sort of have the three-part webinar tonight? The first part has to do with the district meeting coming up on Saturday. Just wanting to make sure that everybody, your team's in the South District, right?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
There's only 2 of our teams that are in the East District, so I've only put out the South District information up on the website and have been emailing those 2 teams directly that are in the East District. We just don't want to confuse everybody else. So if you're the South District, then a U14 team, you'll be meeting at 10:30 in Northfield at the high school. Part of that is at the beginning, usually there's a presentation. It goes over any new rules and overall the whole format in general for the season. And then there's this rescheduled breakout. So for you, it looks like from noon to 1. And on the next slide, it shows how we're going to handle the reschedules for just for Saturday. We're trying to reschedule as many games as possible on Saturday if we need to. If your schedule works out great, and if you have players available when the games are scheduled, then you're good to go. You can just go with those games. But if you do need to reschedule a game for either your conflict or another team in your league's conflict, you definitely can call Rich Segar. He's the Director of Fields for Eden Wave. And this is his cell phone number.
And
when you call him, you just...
Yeah, he is going to be available on Saturday. In fact, I just got a phone with him. I mean, he's going to have his, just kind of be sitting at home waiting for these calls, basically.
Right, so then he's in at home because we have the 2 districts, the East District and the South District, so that way he just will be all plugged in and ready to help reschedule games. And you just need to know all this information will be on the schedule that you're handed. The game number will be on there, date, time, and your team code will also be on there. And then once all the other coaches in your league will meet, or team managers will meet, and then you guys can discuss possible dates and times. If you are the home team, then you're really the lead person in rescheduling the game, and that's when you'll have to give Rich a call and have possibly, if possible, have 2 dates and times that would work for both teams ready, and then call Rich and talk to him to see if there's actually a field available to reschedule the game for that time and date. Does that make sense, Ken?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And so one other thing just to mention is that it is definitely helpful to, we always try to get kid availability on those days. So like, for instance, my team is a U12 boys. We play Tuesday and Thursday nights starting in, and so what we did was we just said, what Tuesdays and Tuesdays or Thursdays are you not available, through July, because things that come up, that you kind of go, oh, well, he's got a band concert on Tuesday night. Well, 4 other kids are also in the band, right? So it's kind of one of those things that sneaks up on you. But if you kind of put it out there like that, like what band concerts or choir concerts or things that you might be participating in, that sometimes it jogs a memory.
It does. And the other thing to look at is some of the away games, being in the South District, could be quite a ways away. And on a school night, it actually ends up being a very long night. So those are things to consider when you're looking at the schedule also, if you may want to adjust some of those far away games. You might not want to. Sometimes you just want to play them, because if you pile up everything at the end of the season, then there's also all the other rainouts and all the other events that happen, and sometimes it ends up being a lot of games at the end of the season. So if it's possible and it works, try to stay with as many games on the schedule as possible. And then, during the season, speaking of rain and other reasons that you might need to reschedule, during the season, so from April 14th through the end of July, the reschedule game process for this season is going to be an online process. Joe's going to help us set up an online doc, and we'll send a link out to all the team managers and coaches. So far, when you're rescheduling home games, this is the process that you need to follow for home games only. And then once you have made arrangements with the other team manager from the other team and have 2 potential dates figured out, then you need to log in to the Google Doc, fill out the form, and that way we're really just trying to prevent the overload of emailing back and forth and looking for dates and all those things to happen. And then if someone misses an email, we don't want anyone to forfeit a game because we just lost the game reschedule in the process. So that's why we're going to this online Google Doc. We're hoping just to consolidate, and so everybody can really see the information and where it's at in the reschedule process and who's all approved. And then once it's gone through this Google Doc and Rich has everything all ready for you to reschedule, and it's been coordinated with the ref and the ref director, and he will do all of that. So you don't have to worry about any of that. You just have to put your information in the doc. And then when it's ready, and it's all approved, then you'll take that information and you actually have to log into the MYSA website. And you'll learn more about this on Saturday. They'll walk through the whole process of how to reschedule through the MYSA website. And then once that's done, then your game is officially rescheduled. So it's kind of a 2-step process. Work through the game reschedule with Rich Segar online on the Google Doc, and then through the MYSA website. Are there any questions? Okay. And if you're wondering where all the fields are at, on the eGameWave website, on the front home page, here is the fields and directions. You can click all the links, and you will actually link you also to MYSA for their all their locations for fields, and also all our local fields in eGame. If you want to receive weather alerts for the city of Eagan, you can also go to the city's website to click for their subscription, and they'll send you notices. We've heard that the city is going to post all their notices after 4, or right around 4 for that day. So we'll know if fields are available or not. Probably not, though, until 4 o'clock. Any questions? All right. So now we're on to the main part of tonight's webinar, and that's actually how to create a team web page and to edit it on the eGameWave website. We use an engine platform, as I'm sure you probably know. And the first part to, sorry about that, folks, to editing is to log in. You just use your own engine account. It should have privileges and editing rights for your team web page. But if you don't, please shoot Joe or myself an email, because there's lots of Smiths in our club, and we might have linked the wrong Smith or just have missed it. So please, if you can't edit your web page, just shoot us an email, and we'll make sure that you can log in and get going. So once you log in, you need to find your team web page. And so the quickest way to do it is from the home page, just under the Traveling tab, and then scroll down to Team Pages. There's a couple other ways, and you'll probably get a shortcut going pretty soon on your own laptop. And once you're on the team web pages, you'll see that we've organized all the teams under their directors. So throughout the season, if you have any questions about games or anything that's happened at your game, please let your director know for your age groups. We have 2 for the girls, and then Chris Conroy is the boys. And okay, so on the next page, you'll see at the top of this page, we have this toggle button, and that's one clue to know that you can edit. So on the next page, here we are. This is my youngest daughter's team web page. And here's the toggle button at the top. This is actually the public view. It's also, if you see the toggles off to the right here, the user mode. So that's what everybody sees. So once you flip it to this side or click on edit, then this is what you will see. Here we are in edit mode. Now, when I'm all the teamwork pages are actually set up already, but there's many more things we can do to them, and they have a structure. So it's sort of like setting up a building plan. You need to create the walls first. So once your toggle button is on, we're going to want to go to this button called the Add Layout Container. And basically, we're going to create the walls on our team web page. Is this making sense? Any questions? Okay. Just please hop in. And if there's any questions, just please speak, text or email or chat or call.
I think, Ken, I think you unmuted, so it looks like you might have muted yourself. So I think Ken can go ahead and talk whenever he,
okay.
It looks like. So if he has a question, he can talk.
Okay, thanks. So here we are. So we've clicked the new layout container button, and now it comes up with two options. You can either create a new layout container or mirror an existing one. When you create a new layout container, it gives you three options. If you click that one, you get three options. So basically, if you want to have one big space to fill, or you can divide it into twos or threes. Those are the options, and you can give it a name if you'd like to name your layout container. It's not required. And once you select one of these, so I selected this one, I selected the first one, and once you click on that, create layout container, off you go. And then if you look at the top of your website, you're not going to see it because it comes all the way in. It automatically comes into the bottom of your website. Here we have the new layout container here at the bottom. But it's a drag and drop process. That's a great thing about this website and this platform. Most of the things, you can see the little cross button here in the corner, and it just means you have to click on it, and you can drag it around. And then so here at the top, we can see that there's the different options for the walls, a single, the triple, and then the double. So on your website, right now, we have going the double. But if we wanted to add a page, to add the layout container, it's up here at the top. There's the new one. And we can do the triple, and we'll just create it. And it goes away, but it comes right back, don't worry. And then it says it was successfully created, but right down at the bottom. So you just have to drag it up to wherever you'd like it, and you can put it anywhere. We put it right there in the middle. And now we're set to go. Engine creates, so now that we have the walls, we just really need to fill them up. And so our engine, they have many options for filling them up. We can fill them up with a calendar, or we can fill them up with contacts, or text, news, videos, Excel documents. We'll run through a few of them, but please, once you start to use one of these elements, it's really easy. They're all very similar, and they're all pretty user-friendly. They send you through the steps, and if you make a mistake, you can just hit the trash button and start over. But so first I'll show you how to do a few of the things, and we'll start with making some text. So here's what happens when you click a new page element. So right here it says add page element. So if you add a page element, you get this very long buffet. And I swear every time I look at this, they're adding new items to it. But many of the basic ones that you'll use the most often are at the very top. So we'll start with the text. And once you hit the text block, it's just like a Word document. It creates a title, and you can align it. It has different fonts and formats. Sometimes, though, it is pretty basic. It's gotten a lot better. They've added more features this year. But sometimes when I know I have something already created, I just take it, I cut and paste from a Word document and then drop it in here.
So, Dion?
Created.
So back on that page where that text block was, one of the things that's kind of Like if you see right below the bold B, he has the little link.
Yep.
Okay.
Link.
So
Yeah.
let's say if they're going to be participating in the Blaine Breakout Tournament, you know, it might be a cool thing to do is you take and you highlight that Blaine Breakout, right? And then click the link button and then paste and then copy the link from their tournament page and put it in there. So then parents, when they go to your page to see the information, they can just easily click through to the appropriate page on the other on the Blaine Breakout Tournament. You know.
Right, it is. I mean, the more features that you can add like that onto your web page, this makes it more user-friendly for the parents and hopefully just better communication. Then everybody understands where they're going, everybody shows up on time or even a little early, or they get lost like me and maybe a few minutes late, but the goal is to be, you know, to have the team show up and have a lot of fun. Right, adding content to content. So we added text and then links. The links feature actually, I think, pops up on many of their content options. So the next one is the calendar. The engine on our website, this feature is called an event aggregator. And there's a couple different ways you can view the calendar. You can view it in a calendar format, or the 5-day view really just shows a week view. So most of the ones of the web pages have been all set up to show a event aggregate with an upcoming event list. And you can only show 5 events if you like, but right now they're all set up to show 10 events. It makes it really easy for parents just to see the upcoming events. You can, sometimes when you show only like the 5-day event in the horizontal format, and if there's nothing happening, you just don't see the big picture, and sometimes they miss, I'll show you, they miss seeing on the bottom here, you can say view all, but sometimes they don't see that, and so they don't realize that there's this link, and you can see the whole season calendar from there also, and then you do see it in the horizontal format.
Great.
So I find that the 10-day event list helps a lot, just for the heads up.
Speaking of the calendars, can you go back to that calendar screen for me, Dion, that you were just on? So if you go down to the bottom, that you've got that RSS feed, subscribe to RSS feed or subscribe to iCal feed, and if you click that, that will bring up a number, a URL or a number that you can actually plug into Google Docs. I mean, into your Google Calendar as well, or iCal. And then it'll self-populate all of your games and stuff into your Google Calendar or iCal. So that's kind of a cool feature that makes it easy instead of having to sit down and put everything in manually.
It is. I think a lot of the parents like that. I know we do with our family. We download everybody's calendar, and it helps us a lot. Okay, so back to the calendars. One thing about calendars, let's go back here. When we see it like here, if you want to click back to your own page, here's your tag up here, and I'll just click on that. And that actually takes us back to your home page. It took me a while once to figure out exactly how to get back. And if you want to edit something or to add something, again, you have to turn the toggle on. And then you can add an event this way. And this is pretty straightforward. You can put this event name in. Again, if you have a link, it'll give you the option to paste it in. And it can be relative, so it's just another internal one, or it can be actually a link from like Google. And the one thing that I found there when I add the link in is sometimes the link, oops, that's not a link, but you get the whole, you still get the HTTP repeated when you paste in the link, and you have to make sure that you delete the HTTP so you only have it once, because otherwise your link won't work. And then you just hit create event, oops. And it tells you when you have a problem, and then you have to try again and again. Like lots of places, the asterisks kind of give you a clue to what you forgot to fill out. And then you cancel. But if you want to edit it, when you hit edit, it actually is how you're editing. It's the view of your calendar, and it's not editing an event. So to edit an event, you actually have to double click on the event. And then there you go. Then we can, up here is edit. And here we've actually tagged everybody so that the same event shows up on everybody's calendar. And now that we know what the location is, we could actually add the location, we could add the Northfield in and help everybody out that way. But there you go. So that's some of the calendar features. So next on the list of content options, and here, I actually did create an event. And next, contacts. So contacts are really helpful. They give you a direct email to your coaches or volunteers. Oh, here. And I'm going to go back to your home page. And what I saw here, so you said you had a coach, an assistant coach. So his name again was?
His first name is Christian. I'm not sure what his last name is. Don't know how to spell it.
Okay. Well, I'll just leave last in because it won't let me otherwise save it otherwise. And then all of these I've actually just put email@email.com, so you, of course, can just fill that in. And if you'd like to add a phone number, you just have to remember that the phone number actually shows up, so it's a visible phone number. And again, as all websites are, they're very public, so if you like it published, you can. Otherwise, when you click to email Alex right here, you'll see that you aren't able to see actually Alex's email address at all. It's just a one-way email. And then you can add pictures if you'd like. And we've added titles. Oh, here. Okay, links. Here we are. I wanted to show you the link. Here is one of the features. And then add page elements. So if you add page element and you just simply wanted to create a link, here is what a link looks like, or not. We'll go back. And there it is. So here's the part where you paste in or you add in the web link and make sure that the HTTP isn't showing. And there's other versions too if you'd like. But there's the link feature. So the features are actually really easy to use.
So Dion, real quick, just to go back to that page you were just on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And scroll down a little bit more towards the top of the page. Sorry.
Okay.
Top of the page there. So
the very top.
if you see that the Sports Engine app there in the top right hand corner, see that little phone right above where it says 2013 spring summer, right below the edit button, right there, right.
Yeah,
so don't click on it, but when you can you can just go, you can go like on an iPhone or an Android, and you can search Engine, spelled N, the letter Ngin, in the App Store, and then you can download that app for free. Then over to the left in that gray bar right above the Egan Wave logo button, it says BU14 space C3 space Cervantes. That's what you're going to search for when you hit add a team. And then, so like for instance, I have, and the app is free to track one team. If you have two teams you want to track, it's $1.99 to track the other one. And then, so I've got my son's and my daughter's team that show up inside that app, and it brings all this information in there as well. So, and then hopefully by, they're talking that by fall of this coming year, 2013, that they're going to have an app that will be able to kind of replace a Team Snap type of an app where it will show team availability and player availability on specific dates and be able to text message through the app and everything. So, and through this website portal. So.
I think that will be really, really handy, especially when you're out on the field and you need, somebody's phone number and things like that. Having this all on your phone, on the app, that would be great. Send an email out to your team if they're lost. Excellent. Okay, so back to the presentation. Next, you can create a news article. Often when you're emailing your team or the coaches have something special they'd like to just post on the website as a weekly reminder, or some special skills you guys are working on, you can do that. The nice feature about the news article, you can start it as a draft, you can save it as a draft, and then come back to it, and when you're finally ready to post it, you just hit at the top, you change the status to publish, and then it will show up on your website. We have created on all the team web pages. We've already started your news aggregate. You can add articles. And again, it's just like the calendar one. Once you have an article in here, you need to click on the name of the article to edit it. And then on everybody's page, web page, team pages, and if you don't have a roster button, please let us know. I think you have all the rosters on now. Most of the players are all on the right teams. If you see a player that is not on the team, please do not delete the player. We'll help get them off of your roster and onto the right roster, and I'll show you on your web page. So here's your roster button, and you can double click on anybody. We try to only use first names of all our kids. We want to keep them as safe as possible on the website, so we only use first and last initials. We try not to use too many photos unless we've had permission from their parents. You can edit the player details right here, and that way you could, if you'd like to add their jersey number and what their position or favorite position is on your team, but probably not add their age and gender and things like that. And this is the button, the delete player button. Please do not delete the player. It really does link to their registration, and it really will affect the database. So we'll help you with that if someone's on the wrong team. Or if you're missing someone also, we can help make sure that they are added to your roster. The other thing, once you're on the roster page and you go to admin and groups, here you are. Here is your entire team. And if you'd like to send a message to them, here, hit the message button. Then over here it says send message to group. And you can send it to the whole group. Or if you wanted to send it only to selected ones, right here, this is your roster, and it shows their engine accounts. And you can select, let's say, Jane and Gavin and Jason. And then we'll select them. And we'll only send the email out to them. It actually sees that it's coming from me. So when you're logged in, it will see your engine account up here. And again, these messages are only one-way messages, so if you'd like a reply, you probably, somewhere in the body, should just add your own email address, maybe at the bottom, and just remind them to reply back using that email. Sometimes, this is actually part of the presentation, so if you, sometimes it's not the easiest way to find how to send out a message to your group, but once you've found it, it will keep, it keeps the whole running history of all your messages, so you can make sure that you've sent them out, or if you want to copy or whatever, you'll be able to have a whole log of your season's messages. And here we are. Are there any questions about that part? Okay, going forward. So the game schedule. You will, like Roxanne was saying, get your game schedule on Saturday. We can add games to your schedule. Oops, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll actually go over to your own website and do it. So here's the game schedule. And add game. It actually shows you as home, but you can add your away games also up at the top. And let's just say you're playing Rochester. Rochester is a team that's most often in the South League. And I usually do the abbreviation also. It helps show up. It will show up a little bit further here in the log. for the whole game. And then you can change the date here. You can add a location. You can add a link. And there's many more features. Actually, scrolling down, I didn't realize there were so many features now as part of this game tab. So you can add the weather and all that. So let's just create this game. And if you go to box scores next, there it is, Rochester. And if you'd like to edit this now, you go here to schedule. And here we are. You can add photos here. This is all new. I just realized this tonight how many new features they've added. So you can add photos just from this game or video. You can send out more details if you'd like to, all kinds of things. You can actually even have a comment stream going. And once the game is over, then you can edit the stats. You can actually fill in the scores here, and if you want to keep stats during the game, you can actually log them in here, which is a nice feature. It sometimes really helps to see how your players are playing and what positions they're excelling at or might need help with. Any questions? Okay. Here's the team stat page also, and you can create a widget if you'd like to help with this feature. There's lots of widgets actually that can be created, and they are shown. If you go here, we'll get back to our home page. And back under the add page element, if you'd like to create a widget, there is a widget button right there, Sport Engine Widget Element. And you can actually import some widgets from there also. So lots of content options to add to the web page. I think we have a few more features to go through here. The photo one. There are so many different ways to add photos to your website. I think it actually really makes it more engaging. You can add a single photo here. There's also the photo gallery. And I think is actually trying really hard to be to provide some of these photo features like the snap features or some of the other websites where teams may have their team pages at. And you'll see that you can create a new gallery. You can decide if you want people to comment on, like, sorry. You can actually approve the comments if you feel like you want to make sure that they're all appropriate. You can share, which is awesome. This part makes it possible for people to download photos and share and send them off and be printed. I know so many times there's some awesome photos, and it's always hard to share the photos at the end of the season. So it'd be great to actually continue to share them throughout the season. And you can save the gallery, and then you can create a widget for your gallery too. Sorry. And here we are. So we created the widget. And from the widget then, I'll show you. I'll go over to your page now and we'll find out how to do a little photo gallery quick here. Here's the photo gallery. Gallery again, teams. Here we add, again, so many gallery options. Create this page element. Oh, it's at the top. You can add your photos. And you can upload. So it looks a lot more like what you typically would see at other, sorry about that, folks. So you would see actually at the Walgreens site, the Target site, and then you could be able to download them and send them off to be printed. Are there any questions about that? If you have someone on your team who loves to take photos, this might be something to show them actually how to edit. You can give them editing privileges. You can actually give them editing privileges yourself to your website. We've given you guys all ownership. So you can add other parents. You can give them editing privileges. And if there's somebody on your team that really, really likes to take pictures, this might be a great way to share. But one thing about the photos, because we are such a public, website, the photos might want to be shared on a private page. And so to create a private team page, like the Team Snap pages, you would give somebody a login to log into them. We can do the same here. So we could go under where your team is listed. There's a yellow button that will say Add New Page. You just have to click on that, give it a name. So here I've created one. I'm going to call it Team Contact. Rosters also are another thing that are so great to share with people. It helps with carpooling and emailing and texting. But again, that information might not want to be shared by everybody. You might want to add that also to a private page.
And then on that private page, Dion, I mean, it's just Dion.
Yep.
So on that private page, it's just logging in. I mean, in order for it to be it'd be able to be seen, it's just that you just are going to log in with your Sports Engine website, like your registration ID and so forth, that you would not log in for the website and to see everything. So that's how we keep it private. It's not that they're going to have some other kind of login. It'll just be the login that they normally would use. And then you'd go in the admin section and add those people to the
right. Really good point.
To be able to see that, so that when they are logged in, they would be able to see that element.
I'll just quickly show that part, how you add so here's our private page. It comes up gray.
Yeah, so
and it's a brand new page.
Mm-hmm.
And here under admin, here's the part where it says permissions. So this is the part you want to click on. And then you'll go down here to add profile for, I think we could maybe even add a group. I think this will work with your team roster. Otherwise, we'll have to go back and create a group. Never mind. So there's a way to create a group of your team roster, and that would be another way to add everybody in bulk. Otherwise, you can definitely just add them singly. And you would go into here and just go, guess it went away. And sometimes you just have to type a few letters, and it finds you, and then you go like, this is my daughter, and you can just give them viewing privileges, or if you want them to also help with editing, like photos or things like that, then you can give them editing and even owner. And if you don't want them to be an editor or a viewing, you just double click again, and the text goes away. You can hit cancel. The private pages are really, really nice for roster information, for pictures, other things that, what else have we shared? Oh, we've actually put the team budget up before on our private pages. That way we like to keep that really within the team, but we just want everybody on the team to, understand where all the money's been going and how much fun we've been having and what the tournaments actually cost. And so that's another thing that sometimes we've added to these private pages. There is, here we are, public, private. You can add your team budget if you have it in an Excel document. They, on our page element features, there's a table builder feature, and you can either import it from Excel or you can even create an Excel looking like document through this page element. Up here we've created just the board contacts. And on the next page, you'll see actually how I have created, on the team manager's webpage, there's a link on the bottom right, and it actually gives you a link. And if you click on it, all the team managers should be able to click on it and actually see it. And it will have all of the coaches' emails for the season, plus all of the team volunteers' emails for the season.
Awesome.
That's the end.
That was great, Dion. Thank you. Jeez. Billy
Well, I think that's going to Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you put some time into it, I can tell, and thank you so much. I mean, I see we had Tom join us since during the last here 10 minutes or so, but or 20 minutes. Tom, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, thanks. I enjoyed what I've watched so far.
We
So,
are recording it, so it will be placed on the website, so you can watch the rest of it as well. And we
okay.
did go over some stuff about Saturday, the scheduling and so
I can
forth
just,
for Saturday. So, but
Okay, yeah,
do you
I'll
have any
definitely
specific
check out the.
questions that maybe we didn't get? Where there's not a lot of people on, so but we're happy to just answer any specific questions that you got if we can.
I think I just wanted to follow up on that last private. You making one of those engine pages private. Can you then make it public once maybe once you've worked on it a while with a table or something, then make it public? Is that one of the
Yes. Yep.
options? Okay.
yep, you can definitely make it public. So right here under admin, oh wait, here it is, permissions. It's right now it's actually disabled, and I can private, and then public. And once it's public, then you'll see the tab color change.
And then that little eyeball
Then
is kind of lit up where it says public too. So yeah, that tab color over on the left,
okay,
Yep,
yep.
now
blue or
it's blue.
green instead of gray.
And then anybody can click on it. There it is.
All right. Yeah, I think some of these will be really really useful. So thanks for
What's your
showing
team,
these.
Tom? What team are you on, or
It's
manage?
girls. Yeah, I'm U13 C3.
Okay, okay. So all right, cool.
So that's the Damer right there. Yep.
Okay. Yep. So I manage well, no, I'm the coach of a U12 boys C3 team, and so that's then my daughter plays on a U15 C1 team that
Oh,
co-runs.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
Nope.
right.
So good. So you talked a little bit about the meeting on Saturday. Good.
Yes. Are you going to that?
I'll be going to that to pick for the packet
Have you been?
handout.
Have you been to one before?
Yes, I was there last spring, so I
Okay.
kind of know the format.
Good. Good.
One of the things I was a little bit disappointed was trying to reschedule, and the teams that I wanted to reschedule with didn't stick around, so I'm not sure how that typically works.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But it's kind of tough when you just get you just get the schedule, and then you have to kind of quickly try to figure out who the other manager is or coach, and then try to figure it out right there to do rescheduling. I mean, it doesn't give you a lot of time during that hour to try to figure that out with some of the teams, because they may not know whether they can reschedule at that particular time. So some teams seem to be more organized than others by the time they hit that meeting on Saturday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. For the most part, the older the team gets, the more organized they generally are, because that group of parents has already been through it a couple of times, right?
Yeah, and they see the real value of
being organized,
being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, well, hopefully you'll run into that Saturday. I'm not going to be there, but well, I think we got to probably wrap up here. It's 10 o'clock. We've been going an hour, and we'll hopefully I'll get this on the website and just an email out on it. Hopefully I'll be able to get it on there in the next day or so, and then at least people that couldn't be on here tonight can watch this before they go to the meeting on Saturday or whatever at their leisure. So
yeah, hey, this is a great idea to do this on a webinar like this. It's very good.
I think we're going to do more of this, and then again, the other thing is we can record them and then we're put them on the site for people to watch in the future too. So if they can't make it, so that's the other element of it. So, well, thanks, Tom.
Yeah. Right.
Any
Thank you,
other
guys.
questions, Ken? You out there still?
I'm still here.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging in, Dion.
Did you have any last questions, Ken? Are you good?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, please email us if you have any questions or if something doesn't make sense once you start to, start to edit the team webpage. Just send us emails, and we're happy to help.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, Dion. Appreciate you putting all this together.
Thank you,
and
thank
good
you
luck
for
this
organizing.
weekend, guys. Keep your fingers crossed for future stars.
Oh, right.
Good weather. Hopefully the snow gets out of
we don't need any more snow.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.